So good evening, everyone. We are back here at Reflection Eternal Barbershop, located 2431 St. Paul Street, Baltimore, Maryland. We're going to be talking about smoking cessation and lung cancer. Let's start with how common is lung cancer compared to other cancers that are diagnosed in America?
Well, I'll start out. Lung cancer is the most common cause of cancer death. Prostate cancer is more common in men, but lung cancer more commonly kills more men than any other cancer.
Is it any more common in black people than other races?
You know, it's actually fascinating. 20 years ago, lung cancer was more common in black men than in white men, not black women, interestingly, compared to white women. Over the last 20 years, the numbers have equalized, but that's only because of intensive efforts at getting people to not smoke, and if they do smoke, getting people to stop smoking, and if they develop some signs that might indicate lung cancer, getting them to get in and get checked out quickly, as well as lung cancer screening, which is one of the things we'll talk about in a little bit. You know, this is an area where we've actually done well for black men versus white men, but if we stop trying, we're going to end up back in the same place we were 20 years ago, where there's a disparity.
What about vaping? What about cigar smoke? Do these lead to cancers of the lung and other issues?
So let's start with vaping, electronic cigarettes. So I will tell you that one, I mean, that's relatively new. You know, if I had to put my money down, I will tell you it will result in a generation, if we don't do something soon to keep young kids off of it, we're gonna have another generation of patients in the future. Patients that I see, that I screen for lung cancer, that I ultimately sent to our two other doctor colleagues here, the average age they started smoking was as teenagers, right? They were 14, 15, 16 years of age. And I always make it clear, cigarettes never killed a 16-year-old, but they'll kill that 56-year-old version of themselves.
And we shouldn't leave here tonight without also noting that if someone smokes cigarettes, you can take there are laboratory tests that allow us to tell you that cigarette smoking goes to every organ you can think of. We can take someone's sweat and say, oh, this person smokes cigarettes. Okay? Every organ. I mean, there's tears in the eye. Smoking doesn't just cause lung cancer. It's actually been linked to 18 different kinds of cancer. Smoking causes cancer of the throat, cancer of the mouth, cancer of the esophagus. It gets into your bloodstream and your kidneys filter the blood. There's a higher risk of kidney cancer. And then smoking actually kills more people through cardiovascular disease than it kills through cancer. There are more people who have heart attacks and strokes and die because they smoke. It is a bad thing.
And one thing for you that's really important is that all of the research, all of it says, as soon as you stop, the day you stop, your risk of all of these things, all of them, starts to go down. That's important, right? That means don't matter how old you are, you always have hope. You always can. Always will feel better. But the point I'm trying to make is that if you stop tomorrow, it gets better. There's risks.
It is never too late.
Yeah. Your risk of heart attack and other things go down really fast.
The big conversation piece out of all of this, for those who smoke, no stigma, no judgment, right? I tell people I am pro-smoker, just anti-smoking. Just talk to your doctor, right? The big way we get these patients to beat cancer, even cut it out by our surgeons, is we help them not water the cancer with smoking. So just talk to your doctor. And if you don't smoke, but you got loved ones do, just tell them, look, mom, dad, brother, sister, like, I love you. Just talk to your doctor. Be supportive of them. Because one of the challenges that a lot of people who smoke feel is, I did it to myself. Why should anyone else care? We got to remove that stigma, right?
Doctors decide which treatment to do.
If it's early, then as I'm saying, surgery is a really good way to go. It all comes down to the surgery. As you can see, in the medical world, the surgeons have got the biggest ego. Right?
Does e-cigarettes and vaping help you stop smoking?
That's a really good question.
There's never been a study that I have seen with e-cigarettes going head-to-head with FDA-approved products where the FDA-approved products didn't win out. Meaning what I'm getting at is there are mechanisms already established that will be better than that. In addition, the other challenge with these e-cigarettes is a lot of people end up becoming addicted to them. I just said earlier, people don't get addicted to these patches, they're done and move on. They will continue to vape. And then that's still chemicals going into the lungs. Maybe different chemicals, but there's still chemicals to a lung that's been beaten for decades.
This is a really good time now, I think, to talk about what steps have been taken, starting about 13 years ago with lung cancer screening, and it's really done very well.
Lung cancer screening is it's an X-ray. It's done with a CT scanner. It should be done in people who have smoked a pack a day for more than 20 years or 2 packs a day for more than 10 years. With lung cancer screening and our thoracic surgery friends here, some of them are alive 10 or 15 years later and doing very well. There was a time when nobody survived lung cancer.
I remember as a young medical student, I could only operate on about 25 to 30% of everybody who came in with cancer, lung cancer. 70% of everybody who came in with lung cancer was coming in late. And African American men and women were coming in even later. Now we have this new screening thing since 2010, and y'all live here in Baltimore. Everybody should be taking advantage of it because, as has been mentioned, we have several great centers here in Baltimore that do screening. Whereas if you lived in rural Kentucky, that's a whole different conversation.
But how often should they get screened?
So the recommendation right now is once a year. And just so that you know, after you get lung cancer, you're even at a higher risk of getting a second one. Why? Because the smoke has just damaged both of your lungs. We just took out a little spot.
You know, if you want to do the best thing for your lung health, just air. That's it. If I can advocate for something. Like, let's even look into your athletes, right? You're from LeBron James to Messi to Ronaldo, I'm picking on little soccer players. The reason they can play soccer or play basketball or soccer well past the age of 35 is they never smoked or vaped, right? So keep that in mind. You know, as you guys are making the decisions about your health, you know, there's no stigma or judgment, but don't give yourself don't set yourself back at this young age because it will have consequences later.
Great discussion today. I'd like to thank all of our panelists, Dr. Brock, Dr. Brawley, Dr. G. And again, this program was generously sponsored by the Schaufeld program for prostate cancer in Black men at the Brady Urologic Institute. I'm your host, Dr. Tariq. We'll see you next time. Thank you.